You are now listening to the Q&E podcast.
Is this what you want? Huh? Is this what you want? I'm trying to get it, goddammit!
What's up, everybody? You're listening to the Q&E podcast. You're here with your boy Q Hicks right now. I got Edgar on the other line. Edgar, tell the people what's good.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Q&E podcast. We are back again with WandaVision Mondays. We just watched episode 8. If you haven't seen it yet, we dive deeper into Agatha Harkness, why she's doing what she's doing. We find out about the Hex and everything. So finally got a lot of questions answered, but it wasn't really the way we thought it was going to be.
Exactly. And because I think my expectations coming into this episode was we're going to learn more about Agnes.
Yeah, all my predictions were wrong.
What's up, bro? But I think all of our predictions for like the following episode have real deal been wrong, bro. I really thought it was going to shift a different way. I thought we was going to see Spectrum. So I thought we was going to see Monica Rambeau in this thing. We ain't see none of them. It was all about Wanda and Agnes and things like that. But I thought it was going to be a whole thing about Agnes. But we only got that first little scene about her, bro. So what were your expectations coming into this?
My expectations were I was expecting confrontation. I was thinking, like you said, I thought we were finna see Monica and what happened with her and Quicksilver. Like I'm thinking we're gonna see what you call it again. I don't know why I keep saying Dorothy in my head.
Darcy.
I've been thinking of Dorothy for I don't know. Darcy. I'm thinking we're finna see Darcy again. Maybe get a little vision snippet or something because it don't take him that long.
He flew up in the air. Yeah, why is he not there by now?
I'm so confused, bro. It's just everything I thought was gonna happen. None of it happened. So, we dove a little bit deeper into Agatha. Other than that, I was wrong about everything else.
And even though this episode was good, I was expecting something different. This junk. And even though we got my girl origin story, Wanda's origin story, all of her trauma. It real deal just felt like filler and so off theme from what we were getting all the way up into this because we didn't get the sitcom thing. And you said last week we were going to stop doing the sitcoms, but I still expected something different from this. So when I just see a whole origin story about Wanda, I'm just like, I didn't want this. I really didn't want this, bro. I really didn't. So how did you feel about how they revolved this episode?
I'm not mad that they revolved this episode around her origin story, but for those of us who have watched Marvel all the way leading up until this point, we know her origin story. So it's kind of like we didn't need to get walked through it. I mean, they did it for emotional purposes to give us the true reason on how she created the Hex. So that made sense. But we know how her parents were killed in the explosion during the war. We know that they seen the Stark Industries thing, which led them to volunteer for Hydra and become experiments and all that. We know all of that. The only thing out of everything they showed us that we didn't honestly know was that she came in contact with the Space Stone. Yeah. That was the only thing that I didn't know. So I love the fact that they showed that, but everything else just honestly wasn't that necessary.
Because we felt her emotion already, even because we seen it. Like we seen her brother get killed. We seen Vision get killed. We didn't see her parents get killed, but we still felt the pain for her. So we didn't have to see all of that again, like in a flashback montage. Like I just didn't fuck with that per se, but I did like that how they showed that little Space Stone shit. She touched it, and then you see like the Scarlet Witch shit. I fucked with
coming
that.
Through the Mind Stone and everything. I was like, that was raw. I like that. I like that.
So there was some things in this thing that I really liked. There was things I really liked. But let's dive into it. And the ending, the post-credit scene was huge.
Yeah.
So I sent you some. We're gonna dive into it. We're gonna dive into it. All right. So the beginning scene was Agatha Harkness, and she was just a young witch back then. And this is like the Salem witch trials. It's in Salem, Massachusetts, and it looks like she was about to be killed by like 8 or 9 other witches, including her mom, because she was involved in like some dark magic that the witches didn't want to be involved with. So they were about to punish her and kill her. And throughout this whole scene, it looks like she was going to get killed. Obviously, she has the emotion with her mother. Her mother is about to kill her. So y'all like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
But then you see everybody shoot their magic at Agnes. And she gets shooting it with the magic. It looks like she's getting injured. But it's like midway through them doing the magical force shit, it's like she starts to absorb everybody's powers. So she's absorbing everybody's powers. Her mom ends up getting involved with it. She ends up getting her powers into Agnes trying to kill her, and then she absorbs her mom's powers. My question was, why did the mom try to kill her after what she seen happen to the other witches? Because she killed the other witches by absorbing their power. So her mom ended up jumping in and she killed her mom by that.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. I thought maybe, hey, you might as well just try, like, because she probably gonna kill you regardless since you just tried to kill her. So I don't know. I didn't really look too deep into it. I thought maybe it was I'm the leader, so I gotta try, even if I know it's not gonna be successful.
And what do you think happened in the middle of her about to get, her killing? Like in the midway through her killing, she starts to get killed, and then it turns into her absorbing the power. What do you think changed in that time?
Well, I think it's because she was already practicing the dark magic, like her mother said. So maybe she was practicing it so much to where she has it down pat. Like it's not just practicing anymore. She's become a master of dark magic. So even when you're trying to kill her, it'll just like it'll push back on you. And instead of her getting drained, you're the ones getting drained, and it's unable to be stopped. Only she can stop it. Because if you noticed, once they projected their powers on her, it didn't stop until she made it cease. Like they just had to keep their arms out and they kept getting their power drained. They couldn't stop it on their own. So I'm like, damn, like she's really into the deep magic at this point.
I have a theory.
What's up?
It was Mephisto protecting her. She was already in tune with the dark magic. And I think she got in contact with the devil, and the devil ended up protecting her. And that's why she's so indebted to Mephisto right now, because Mephisto was protecting her during that time where she could have got killed. And this is another reason. And it was a reason I kind of said last week about the Voldemort thing, and where I'm starting to build onto now. I said last week that when it comes to Voldemort was like a little body. Like when he had got killed by Harry Potter before, he had to come back. He had to get other people's energy and things like that.
He had to create Horcruxes and all of that.
He had different Horcruxes. I'm glad you brought that up. He has different Horcruxes in this show, and Agatha is one of them. A piece of his soul is in Agatha, and that is what protected him, or protected her in that scene. And the other Horcruxes are the kids, the demon spawn. So it makes it more difficult to kill him when he has the Horcruxes, because you have to kill all of them to kill a Mephisto character. That's what we seen with the Voldemort, and that's what we're seeing here. The reason he wanted Agatha to get Wanda's powers is because he wants to be this higher being, just like a Voldemort wanted to be. And that's why Agatha was so on Wanda's head throughout this whole episode. What did you do to create this reality? What did you do? Because he wants that energy to go to Mephisto. Mephisto wants to be this type of person to create this whole world. And he wants to collect her kids because it's a part of him. Those kids are a part of him, and that's his spawn. So he has to collect Agatha and those two kids to create this higher being. And while Agatha is on this playing field, he wants her to gain the knowledge of how she did this, so he can have the knowledge moving forward on how to create these different realities. So that's why I think it's really happening now. So the Voldemort theory, I think, is right when it comes to the Horcruxes, and he has different Horcruxes.
I like that. I ain't think about that at first. I like that.
Yeah, bro. So I know I dove a little deeper than what we were right now, but that's something that I've seen moving forward, and that's something that I picked up on because somebody said in an explain video that Mephisto was the reason he got protected, and maybe she got protected in that moment by Mephisto because she was already into dark magic, and so the Horcruxes theory just ended up popping on. And then the Voldemort thing ended up pulling on. I'm like, this is literally Harry Potter we're looking at right now. You feel me? And that's really what I feel like. Voldemort and Mephisto feel like the same type of thing, and they need the same type of things to begin to be the higher power once again. That's what I'm starting to see right now. So yeah, we get through the Agatha scene. Agatha ends up killing her mother. She ends up taking the powers, and then she really just takes her mom's brooch, and then she really just flies off after that.
Yeah.
Did you take anything else away from that first scene?
I was kind of wondering what she took the brooch for. I ain't really looked too deep into the brooch. I didn't see anybody talk about it really, so I didn't know what the brooch stood for.
Wasn't her mom like the queen witch? Yeah. I think that's what that meant, because I don't remember anybody else having that brooch on, so that's probably what it meant. And you see her mom have that crown.
I thought it was a deeper meaning than just the royalty standpoint. I thought it was a bigger meaning than that.
I don't know. I think it was more of the queen thing, and she wanted to become the queen of the witches, and that's why she took it. You feel what I'm saying? But she didn't end up when she does her powers. She doesn't get that queen symbol. She just does her powers, and you just know she's a witch, but she doesn't get that queen symbol. So something is disconnected between her and her mother. Maybe it's the dark magic that's preventing her from getting that tiara or whatever her mom was wearing. But I think that's what she ended up wanting.
Plus, maybe you have to go through a ritual to actually become the queen as well. Like you can't just take the emblem and wear it.
Possibly. Now we get to Wanda and Agatha in their basement. Agatha is really going through the whole process of what was going on in these past few episodes, how she's been plotting on Wanda. She tells her about the fake Pietro, who was really fake this whole time, and that she didn't get his body, and that Pietro was really like her eyes and ears. So when Wanda was talking to Pietro, she really was talking to Agatha, picking up on how she created this world. So this whole time, that's all Agatha wanted to know. How Wanda created this world. Because nobody knew. Not even Wanda knew how she created this.
Yeah.
And she said this for plenty of episodes. She already said this. And then when we get to Agatha found the reality.
I think it's kind of scary too, for the fact that she not only did she not know how she created it, but she didn't even know how she was keeping it going. Like as it continued to grow and grow, she didn't know how it was continuing, because like later in the episode, you hear Agatha say, like, you're controlling people like 20 plus miles away. Like, and it's on autopilot. Like you really have your powers on autopilot right now. And you're not even thinking about certain people that you're controlling, but you're controlling people. Like that's the type of magic that only a few certain beings can possess. So that was just crazy to me. I was like, damn, she really is controlling people like miles away from her.
But it was true what she was saying this whole episode, because throughout the season, it was just like, it doesn't make sense. How are you controlling people like 20 miles away, but then you telling us you don't know? But we see here that she truly didn't know what she was doing. She was really doing this subconsciously, bro, which is crazy. But we end up finding out how Agatha found out about this world. She had seen that it was like a lot of energy coming from this universe, and that's how she ended up getting into this reality with Wanda. Because I feel like at the end of last episode, I was just like, damn, then who created this world? Because I kept picking up on the Wanda. She didn't know how she created it. I was just like, damn, did Agnes create this and put Wanda in this environment? And then that's how it was going. But we still find out it was Wanda this whole time. She just didn't know it truly. But this is what I wanted to ask you. Agatha wanted to know how Wanda created this reality. Did she want to know how Wanda created the world so she could do it too?
I feel like to a certain extent, yes. I agree with your Mephisto theory. I really like that. So I think he is working through Agatha as a Horcrux, but Agatha possibly might want to learn how to do it too, because they are both witches. And in the comic books, the Scarlet Witch, Agatha Harkness, is the Scarlet Witch's teacher. So she probably wants to get more knowledge about her powers so that way she can teach her more dark magic, because they didn't even go into the Book of Spells when we seen this episode. That was a theory I thought was going to happen too. I thought they were going to dive into the Book of Spells and she was going to explain to Wanda how she was controlling her with certain things that she was doing. And none of that happened. So my theory was wrong on that. But I feel like eventually in episode 9, maybe, I don't know where in the episode, but I feel like they have to dive into the Book of Spells, because I don't think Agatha is just going to learn a whole bunch from Wanda. I think Wanda is gonna go hand in hand. They're both gonna learn from each other.
Yes. And I want to go back to Mephisto, bro, because this whole season we've been saying this character is Mephisto. We said the mailman. We done said the fake Pietro. But bro, I'm really starting to think that rabbit is Mephisto, bro. You try to
She's just talking to the rabbit. She's just talking to it,
but
bro.
you heard what she said, though. You heard what she said, though. When she was talking to the rabbit, she was just like, yeah, she does look really shocked to see us, doesn't she? But she was really talking to the rabbit, and the rabbit was like saying something to her.
She crazy.
Like that rabbit is saying something, bro, and she's feeding him birds. This ain't no normal rabbit, bro.
She's a witch. Ain't nothing around her normal. I'm not surprised that a rabbit eating birds. I'm not surprised.
I'm telling you, bro, that's Mephisto, bro, because she already told us Pietro ain't it, and then we see at the end that the mailman is actually a real person. Like he's not somebody who was like like Agatha, who came into the reality. He was already there. So it's not the mailman, it's not Pietro, it's this rabbit. I think it's the husband Ralph, who she's been alluding to this whole season, and I think Ralph is Mephisto. So I really think it's this. I think it's what's the name, bro? I think
forgot that she did reference her husband. I forgot she referenced her husband a lot, and we just never seen him. So
yeah. So I think it's Ralph, and Ralph is
I ain't peep that. I ain't peep that. Okay, I give you that. It might be the rabbit. Might be somebody. Okay, I don't think it's Mephisto.
But I still think it changes forms too, though. I don't think it just stays in the rabbit the whole time. I do think it changes forms. So I do think at that post-credit scene, it was a Mephisto who just showed up as a Pietro in that moment. I think that was a Mephisto right there. But like I said before, I think he does change forms. Okay. And now we start to go back to Wanda's childhood to get the origins and how she created this. Agatha wanted to know, and Wanda really didn't know anything. So we had to go back actually see how she built up the trauma to get this done. So now we go back to Wanda's childhood during the Cold War in Slovenia. What did she say?
Sokovia.
Okay, Sokovia, yes. So we end up finding out that Wanda loves sitcoms as a kid, and that's why she loves sitcoms now.
They had all the sitcoms that each episode was based off of in that box that her dad brought.
Bruh, why did the family stay there? And the mom looked outside and seeing the war going on. That's right outside her house. Why did she stay?
It was a lot of European countries like that. Like back in like any old war that you think about, there's families that are like that all the time. Like if let's say a war comes to the United States, everybody can't leave. Like everybody isn't going to be.
But that was real deal cool and like shit was regular.
Oh yeah, like I've seen old videos and stuff like that. Like you hear a lot about that when it comes to like Germany with the World War and everything. Like I think it was a story that we heard in middle school. Like it was a story that we had to learn about or watch or something about a Jewish family that lived in an attic or something during one of the world wars. And they had military like battles outside of their house the whole time, and they were Jewish, so they couldn't be caught outside. Otherwise, Nazis would get them. So with this Cold War situation, it didn't shock me that I seen a family just having dinner one day, and then they're looking out the window and they see war outside. Like that didn't shock me at all.
That threw me completely off, bro. I'm like, they in there chilling, like they not even trying to hide in the corner or nothing. Like they chilling. And that's why it wasn't funny because it was a family that got blown up. But the way they got the scene of them actually getting blown up.
Oh, yeah.
You just see the explosion. You see Wanda them flying. It's just like, whoa. Like, I can't be surprised that it happened. Y'all looked outside and seen the war going on.
I'm eating an egg sandwich and I'm like, I almost that because I'm like, whoa. Hold on, they just watching. I'm about to laugh at the show that they watching, and I ended up laughing at them getting blown away.
That's what I'm saying. That shit was funny, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that shit was funny. But we end up finding out that the house was blown up by Stark. There was like some Stark Industries involvement in the bombs, and we also found out that Wanda had powers before she got in contact with an Infinity Stone as well, because she stopped the bomb from detonating. She said it was some type of hex or something that she had put on the bomb to stop it from blowing up.
But
and it was like,
I don't know. I don't know if she had powers for real, because I think Agatha was just guessing when she said that, because she said, were you trying to do a probability hex? Like, is that what you were trying to do? And
she did something right then.
Wanda just said the bomb didn't go off. Like it was just it was a defective bomb because they dropped the first bomb to blow it up, and then you know how you do a cleaning crew after the first bomb. The second bomb was just to really make sure everybody got hit. But the second bomb was defected because I remember they said that in Age of Ultron, like the second bomb hit and
she
it never
thought it was
off.
Defected, but it was really her. Might have been subconsciously as well. Because think about it, bro. In the next scene, we get to her. I don't know what organization she was working with. Do you know?
In the second scene, what was
second? That's when she touched the stone. What
that was Hydra. That's when she volunteered to work for Hydra. Because in her and Pietro's eyes, they wanted to make the world a better place because they felt Stark and a bunch of these other high-end people were just like dropping bombs on everybody and just killing everybody. Even though that wasn't Stark for real, people were stealing Tony Stark's Howard Stark and Tony Stark's weapons and doing that under their name.
Okay, so it was Hydra that she was working with, but in the Hydra scene, they tell us that nobody has survived this. So I'm assuming all the regular kids didn't survive this, but since she was since she had some type of powers, that's the reason why she survived it with the Infinity Stone. Nobody else could because they didn't have that type of power like she did. And we still know that she's the daughter of Magneto. I don't know how that ended up working out, but she's the daughter of Magneto, so she had to have some type of powers to get past that Infinity Stone, and her still being, you know what I'm saying, having more powers after that and still staying alive after that. So I think that's what it is as well. She's an X-Men. She just didn't know it. She was just a young one at that point.
True. I didn't think about it that way, because when the bomb dropped, I didn't think she used her powers. I think the bomb was just defected. But when she came in contact with the Infinity Stone, you do have a point there that, okay, maybe she is different from everybody else, because she should have died, just like how they said everyone else did.
Yeah, because her and her brother, I'm pretty sure, were the only ones that were actually alive. Whoa. Were all the people Hydra working with mutants? Because I'm pretty sure that's really the only reason why they were surviving, bro.
If you remember in was it X-Men First Class? Yeah, I think it was X-Men First Class. And that was during one of the World Wars, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
And they took Magneto because they seen Magneto use his powers, and they wanted to see like the German soldier or whatever, like the head soldier. He wanted to see him use his powers again, or he was going to kill his mom. He ended up killing his mom anyway, because he wanted to see the full extent of his power. So you might be right with that. They were probably just taking people that they felt had special abilities.
Yeah. Or they could have been taking everybody, but the ones who stayed alive and survived that are the ones that got the powers, got enhanced powers.
Because they volunteered. They weren't taken. So.
Yeah. That's true too. So yeah. So I think that's what happened there. But yeah, the biggest thing I took away from that scene was just, why did they stay there? But you make a good point with that. Next one, that's when we get with the terrorist organization. Wanda, like you said, she volunteers. She ends up taking, what stone did she touch?
The Space Stone.
She touches the Space Stone and she stays alive. But in that scene, after she touches the Space Stone, it turns like a goldish color.
It turned into the Mind Stone. Like,
it turned into the Mind Stone.
The Space Stone broke apart and turned into the Mind Stone. But the Hydra people, they couldn't see what was really going on. All they seen was her reach out, and then she fell to the ground. And on the cameras, when they looked back, they still couldn't see what happened.
Yeah.
So I was confused on that. I was like, I didn't understand that.
Hold on. So she touched the Space Stone and it turned into the Mind Stone?
She almost touched it. I don't know if she actually did touch it, but when she reached out and almost touched it, it went from the Space Stone into the Mind Stone, and that's when you see the Scarlet Witch figure come in front of her.
So she didn't create the Mind Stone, but I'm still confused. Like, how did it transition into that?
I don't know. I was confused too. I was
yeah, that's crazy.
Maybe. Okay, if your theory is right, and she did have these witch powers before even getting involved with Hydra, maybe what happened was, since she is the Scarlet Witch and can create hexes and can go into different multiverses, the Space Stone also kind of allows you that same type of ability. So with doing that, did she cross paths of a different universe or multiverse or whatever, to where she not see the future, but she seen like a future premonition of herself or something like that?
Possibly.
Maybe something like that, like different multiverses cross paths and she seen like a future glimpse of herself.
Yeah.
That might have been what happened.
Because when she ended up when she ended up passing out after that, did the stone turn back blue or did it?
It turned back blue. I don't think, like I said, the Hydra people didn't see any of this happen.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it did turn back blue, or it just never changed colors for them. It never changed colors to begin with. Mm-hmm. But when she fell out, it turned back blue, basically.
That's crazy. And that's probably why she has such a good rhythm with Vision, because she has history with this Mind Stone. Man, I ain't even think about it. Damn, that's good. And like you said, the doctors didn't see anything, but I'm pretty sure it turned back blue after she was passed out.
Yeah, because they still had the Space Stone when she was done with it.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. All right, but I think that's everything that happened with that scene. Then Wanda, we get to the scene where it's Wanda and Vision, and there it was the scene during Age of Ultron. I think this is right after her brother died. After her brother died. So you understand, like, she grieving and things like that. And this is when you feel like Vision and Wanda start to get close at this point. And he gives Wanda his sympathy and tells her that grief is love persevering. And they really started to come closer together after that. She started to feel their emotion. And is that when, like, he started to get like actual feelings? Is that the scene?
Kinda, basically.
Because he didn't have feelings, I don't think, before. He was more like a machine.
No, he had. Well, we didn't experience him with any feelings in Age of Ultron because he was only. By the time Vision came, it was like the last 45, 50 minutes of the movie, so it was just straight action for the most part. So he was just still figuring out who he was. Every movie and every Marvel thing since then, like you see Vision learning himself as a person, learning his emotions for Wanda. And you see in Civil War too, like he actually grows feelings for Wanda because you see him cooking for her. You see him trying to care for her and keep her at the Avengers compound and everything. So by Civil War, we know for a fact he has emotions.
Yep, that's true. That's true. But yeah, we get that scene, and then Vision was. Then that's when we see that scene. They were watching Malcolm in the Middle or whatever. Then Vision was gone, and then Agatha starts to have her own monologue, and she starts to realize that's how she created this reality because she was grieving that all this loss from her parents to her brother to Vision, everybody who really cared for Wanda really was gone, and that's why she built up this power. But something that I realized before we had ended up getting to the sword scene, when Agatha was talking to Wanda and Wanda had ended up walking out into that sword scene, Agatha looked mad and aggravated as fuck because she really wanted to know, like, hey, nigga, tell me the secret. I think you really trying to play with me right now. And I that's one thing I really noticed. She was just like, so I wonder if she's being pressured by Mephisto, like, to get these answers now or something like that, because she feels like she's on like a time clock. Like she ain't got all day to be playing with you. Like, give me these answers. So there might be something behind closed doors.
Plus, I really think she was trying to figure out because I think Agatha understands, like, Wanda doesn't understand the amount of power she has. And Agatha can see the amount of power she has. She knows the amount of power she has. So that's why she's getting frustrated. Like, what do you mean I'm showing you memory after memory, trauma after trauma, and you still don't know how you're doing this? Like, there's no way you can have this much raw power that only exists amongst a few beings in all these different universes, and you don't know how you're doing this. Like, we're gonna keep digging. I'm gonna keep fucking your head up into your past until I see the trigger. Like, all of these are building up, but what was the true trigger moment that made you do this? And then I think that's when we get to the next scene of when she went to go see Vision's body. But I don't think Agatha was with her during this. I think she was just like, this was just a flashback type situation.
This was a flashback because even her even like the Wanda that was walking through all the scenes, she ended up staying back with Agatha. Yeah, and it was just like the flashback, like you said. Yeah, you can continue.
She went to the sword compound, and this is where we find out that, well, remember we thought she was being mind controlled to go steal Vision's body, and we found out she never actually had Vision's body, but we found that out like an episode or two ago. But they lied, and you pointed out that the director,
it could be fake.
It could be fake, which it was. She did break the glass. She did like intimidate all the people in Sword or whatever, but she didn't do anything. All she really wanted was to bury Vision. All she wanted to do was give the man a funeral, and that's it. I just want to put him 6 feet under, put flowers on, say my piece, and like treat him as a human being, because that's what he was to me. And the director told him, that's the thing, he's not yours. And I'm like, damn, like, y'all really finna do her like that? Like,
but he is though, high key. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all just dismantling him in front of her and everything, and then y'all got the audacity to say he's not yours. He not y'all's either.
Exactly. It's really Stark shit, but all right. all right. It's whatever. But yeah, Sword was really working on Vision's body to make weapons that we figured out a couple of episodes ago as well. But I told y'all Hayward was dirty from the jump. Just didn't get a good feeling about this nigga. But Hayward was playing her. He really wanted her to take him from the beginning because, like we see at the end, he wanted her to use her magic on Vision so he can use it on another being that he was working on, like the White Vision that we seen. So I think that's why he wanted her to use it. And he was triggering her with like words. Like she was like, at one part, he said, "You have the power to bring people back." And Wanda didn't know that. She was like, "What?" She's like, "I didn't know that." And he plots things in her head to like, yeah, you can bring people back. So do you want to bring Vision back? So like he's putting things in her head. Yeah. But one thing I never understand about people, like, it feels like everybody else knows Wanda's powers but her. Like, why doesn't this girl know her full powers, but everybody else seems to know?
That I honestly can't understand. I think it's usually the deceptive people. that know your abilities more than you because they're studying you. They're trying to figure out ways to take stuff from you or abuse the power that you have. So you don't usually see too many good characters know the amount of power that someone has, because if more people knew what Wanda could really do, a lot of the Avengers would have knew the extent of Wanda's true power. And I feel like a lot of them still don't know the true extent of her power. But Sword, they know the extent of her power because they're studying her. They're trying to abuse her power and use it for their own gain. Agatha, same situation. She knows her power. She wants it for herself, and possibly the Mephisto theory of trying to transfer that information to Mephisto. So the deceptive people always know the amount of untapped power you have. It's usually the good characters that don't.
Yeah, that shit don't make sense. Wanda, you should know your full powers by now. If everybody else feel like they do and you don't know your shit, like there's a problem.
It's the fact that even Monica said like she could have killed Thanos if he didn't do that fire raid on them. Like she was literally about to kill this dude and he almost had all the Infinity Stones. Like I'm like, what? Like this is crazy.
Exactly. So they really downplay her this whole time until this show. That's now we're seeing like the full capacity of what she can actually do. So
she was holding him in Infinity War. She was holding him off with one hand and destroying a Mind Stone with the other, and he got all 5 other stones, and you just holding him off with one hand. I was like, how does nobody else know the extent of her power? What? That's crazy.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, that shit crazy. But yeah, after that scene, after she sees Vision's body, she doesn't do anything. She ends up leaving and just driving to Westview, New Jersey. So Vision had set up and he had the deed already in place to build a house in Westview, New Jersey for him and for Wanda to grow old or whatever. And that really made her grieve even more because I think that's where she was going to bury his body in the first place. And she just imagined Vision and what could have been. And I feel like everything just accumulated and boom. We get this type of reality.
That's what they was going to build their family and everything. Like he bought the house plot for them. Like you said, that's probably where she was going to try and bury him and everything. That's where they were going to start their life. If he was still alive, that's where they would have started their life.
Yeah. But during that montage of her riding to, or that scene when she was riding through Westview, we seen a couple of people that were like mind warped in this reality. We seen Mrs. Hart from episode 1. We see the mailman, like I said before. I think we seen her.
Yep.
Somebody else, dude.
All the office people and all that.
Yeah. So we seen all those people. So we like these people were here before she even got there.
Did we see children? Did you see any children? I don't remember.
I didn't. They didn't show any children.
Once again, for the children. No children. I don't think I've seen children when she was riding through Westview.
That's crazy. That is weird then. Because there still should be children there.
I gotta rewatch it. I gotta rewatch that part anyway.
Oh, what if the kids were the kids was
I don't remember if I seen kids in that scene. I really don't.
I don't remember seeing kids, but I was like, what if the kids was at school and the school wasn't in the reality range or something?
We would have seen at least one. We would have seen at least one.
One nigga was skipping that day.
Maybe cope with the fact that there are kids. You would have seen at least one.
Facts. Yeah, that is crazy.
Maybe they were. I gotta rewatch that scene.
I watched it again today. I don't think they was. Or they didn't show them. At least they didn't show them. So she got so upset that she created this reality unknowingly. She ended up bringing back Vision. She ended up changing Westview, and it ends with her at the end of episode 1, where they were about to sit on the couch and they were about to watch another TV show, and you see like the real time Wanda watching over them. And she is like, it's a show now. Like she's the production and everything that's set up. And so, and then she realizes that Agatha realizes what the hell is going on and how she created this. And then she really like snapped out. And that's when we see her with the kids by their necks and shit outside. Wanda went outside and Wanda really don't know what to do. And then Agatha says, yeah, you the Scarlet Witch, bitch. Even though we've known this shit for the whole season. Yeah, you the Scarlet Witch. So, yeah. And then, but will Billy and Tommy die?
Good question. I was thinking that. I was like, is somebody gonna say Vision is still coming back? So are they both gonna fight Agatha and find a way to save them, or is Vision gonna get there too late? And are they both gonna be dead? I don't know. Too many questions.
She wants to kill them. I'm pretty sure she wants to kill them.
Oh yeah, it's just a matter of if it's going to happen or not.
Because, like I said before about the Voldemort theory, these are all a part of not Voldemort, but Mephisto's soul. So the twins and Agatha is all a part of the Mephisto soul. So to get back into his soul, they will have to die. So they can all be back into Mephisto now, but he will be having the knowledge that Agatha has about how she created this reality, and then he would have the twins, you know what I'm saying, back to being a part of him again and shit like that. So he would need them to die to be back a part of Mephisto, and he can be this bigger being once again. So I think they will die. I think they will die. And in the comics, they die as well.
Yeah.
But they end up coming back somehow. I don't know how they come back, but they end up coming back. But they do die though, and they
I noticed that too. I was like, they did come back like later in one of the comic book series.
Yeah,
so I wasn't sure how that happened either.
I think their nicknames were like Wiccan and Speed or something like that. Yeah, so they coming
and they
back.
were older too.
They were older. Yeah. But they do die though. What else? I got the twins. Already talking about my Voldemort theory. Now we get to the post-credit scene. Boom, and we see Professor, what is his name? Dr. Hayward.
Yeah.
Detective Hayward. Whatever the fuck that nigga name. Hayward.
Director Hayward.
Director Hayward. Damn, I forgot that nigga shit. Yeah, so we see Hayward looking over the hex or whatever. So he's trying to see what's going on. And then he ends up getting called over to look at this white vision. And then we end up getting information that all they needed was that little what was that? Plane? Was it a plane?
It was the drone that they sent in.
It was the drone that they sent in, and it had Wanda's magic on it. And that's all they needed to create this white vision that we see in the post-credit scene. And shit looks crazy. Shit looks just like Vision, but it doesn't have a Mind Stone. It has something, I don't know what that is in his head. You know what that is?
No, I didn't know what that was.
I don't know what that is in the middle of his head, but yeah. And but they're saying this is the new Ultron. That's what's hot in the streets.
Yeah, damn near, kind of. Because in the comic books, Hank Pym from X-Men, Beast, like they recreated Vision. They created the white Vision in the comic books, but they couldn't give him a mind because there was no Mind Stone. So I forgot how they completed. Did they complete it the same way? Like
he didn't have a consciousness. He didn't have a consciousness.
Yeah, he didn't have like a mind or a consciousness. So
yeah, so he was like real soulless on the inside.
Yeah, he was real soulless, and I think Vision was always supposed to be all white, but back then there were a lot of like all white newspapers and comics with everything, so it wasn't going to look right on print. So that's why they gave Visions the color that he has to begin with. But the white Vision is basically a soulless, like no memory type of sentient being, basically. Like, so we're gonna get a Vision versus white Vision in episode 9.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a lot to go against, because it's gonna be like Wanda against Agatha, and then Vision against Anti-Vision, and that's what's gonna happen. But I don't know if this white Vision is going to die next episode.
I don't even know what his full powers are going to be, because if you don't have the Mind Stone, you're not going to have the same type of energy powers that Vision has. So,
but and where will this fight be? Will it be inside of the reality?
I think so. I think it's going to be inside of the Hex.
But they what I've been hearing about the Ultron theories is Vision was supposed to be Ultron's, like the next Ultron to begin with.
Oh yeah,
Ultron was trying to make that the new Ultron. He ended up plugging his consciousness into Vision's body, but before the process was over with, I think it was like 55% loaded of Ultron about to be into the Vision, basically about to be into Vision,
because it was pieces of everybody. It was knowledge from Stark. It was knowledge from Bruce Banner. It was traces of Jarvis. It was traces of Ultron, and then Thor came. And Thor added his energy to it and everything, and finished the loading process. And then that's when we got the Vision that we know now.
Exactly. And that's how, but before that, that's when Ultron was plugged up to it. So they're saying that this white Vision has Ultron's conscience or consciousness or whatever word I'm looking for. They got his conscience. And so Ultron was always inside of Vision, but they say that Jarvis and the Mind Stone really overpowered him. But he doesn't have the Mind Stone in this new white Vision body. Right. It's all Ultron at this point. So Ultron can really do whatever he wants to do in this body. I don't know if he's going to come out in this episode 9. I think he's going to be like the obedient type of robot that they want him to be in this first one. But if he does not die, I think we will see like an Ultron, like I want to destroy humanity type of white Vision that they don't want. Obviously, Sword doesn't want that, but that's what Ultron's goal was in his movie. He wants to destroy
Correct.
humanity and things like that.
He wants correction, basically. And his version of, was he similar to Thanos in a sense of Ultron felt the best thing to happen to Earth was for the Avengers to become extinct.
Yeah.
Like, and that's damn near kind of what Thanos was saying. Like, the universe needs correction. Like, and correction would be 50% genocide so that the other 50% can thrive. So there's no overpopulation. And then Ultron, it was kind of like you all think you're helping the world, but you're actually making it worse. And you're confusing peace with quiet. Just because you don't hear bad things going on, that doesn't mean like there aren't any bad things going on.
Exactly. So that was his goal, and that could possibly be his goal right here. Like I said, if he makes it past this episode 9, we can see this dude turn into a real Ultron again, gain more power and more energy. Like I said, I don't know what that is in his head. That could probably mean something. I don't know if that has the same power as a Mind Stone, but it could still be powerful at the same time because they were working on Vision's body. So how do we not know? But the Mind Stone wasn't in there though.
And I also want to know, is this White Vision made of vibranium as well?
Possibly.
That's a good question. Damn, is this new Vision made of vibranium?
How did they get vibranium? Vibranium is real exclusive too.
Yeah, you would have to get it from Wakanda, and I doubt they made a fully new Vision from the bits and pieces of the old one.
But I just can't see them making a whole White Vision and Vision just knocking this nigga off real easy. Like it can't just be like that. Like we see this nigga in one episode, he get knocked off.
I feel like that's where Monica will come in at as well, because we're gonna see Monica's full power. I'm predicting that for episode 9. We're gonna see Monica grow into her full power. She's gonna see the power that she actually has. I feel like Vision versus White Vision, definitely is going to happen. And
my question is, who's going to win? I'm not sure Wanda and Vision is just going to win this fight.
Yeah, I don't think they will either.
Yeah, I don't think they were going to win.
I was just going to say, I'm predicting that Agatha won't die. Agatha Harkness will not die.
Exactly. It's funny because in the comics, she really doesn't have much to her story, so they have a lot to play with when it comes to Agnes. Like, there's not really any direction that they have to go in with her. So they can really build on her character and have her be like the lapdog to Mephisto moving forward. So, because I think he will be the dude we see next episode. Hopefully. It's like, damn, waited long enough. But hopefully we see him next episode. But I wonder what he would come as. Like, how would he expose himself? Like, when will he expose himself?
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be the exciting part about next episode, because I'm like, is he gonna come out of the rabbit or some shit? Like,
I feel like I'm really waiting on Loki too. I'm waiting on the Loki series to start, because I feel like there won't be any bits and pieces from WandaVision going into Loki, I don't think, but there'll be certain similarities of plot points between both of the shows. Because Loki is about to start. Today's the 1st of March, so I think in another week or two, I think Loki starts. So I think as soon as WandaVision is now about to be over, we're about to start Loki, and I think both paths are going to intersect at some point.
But will Wanda be the one to create all these mutants? Will she be the one? Because there's only one episode left. I can't see them squeezing all that into one more episode.
Are they going to make it an hour?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But you still have to bring back Mephisto. You still have to give us some information on White Vision. We gotta.
It has to be the action.
It has to be the action of the battle. It's like you can't throw the Vision, not the Vision, but the mutants on top of that. It's like, damn, that's a lot.
Yeah, for
what you trying to do?
Episode, that's gonna be a lot. That's why I said I don't know why they kept it at 9. They should have made this 10 episodes, especially with episode 8 being such a filler type of episode.
That's exactly. So they really could have cut down on episode 8. Put some of the episode 9 inside of episode 8, and then
they would have so much room to play with.
So much room, because I don't want to see a little clip of Mephisto. I want to get some knowledge of this character who y'all been building up this whole season. Like, I want to get acquainted with him. I don't want y'all to just flash him and then that's the end of the season. Like, I don't want that to be the case. I want to like get some knowledge of him. Like, what are his powers? Like, what can he do, and where will he come from? Like, I want some more information on him before we move forward into another multiverse of madness shit.
Right.
Well, how do you think this will play with the multiverse of madness? Because I'm pretty sure that's the next movie coming up soon.
We might get a reference on other multiverse beings like Wanda, I feel like they'll probably give a reference that she's not the only one, and they might give a hint to others. I'm pretty sure we'll get a Doctor Strange type of hint, even if it's not like.
And here, I think we're gonna get Doctor Strange in here too. A little bit.
I don't know if we'll get a cameo, but there might be hints to the Doctor Strange movie.
We might get a cameo toward the end. That wouldn't be bad.
I don't know. Maybe a post-credit scene. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay,
I won't be surprised.
I can see that. I don't think in the actual episode, but in the post-credit, probably.
Because he's the one that's going to know the multiverse layout.
Yeah, he knows it more than almost everybody else, damn near.
Exactly. So he will, say catch Wanda up to speed is what I'm picturing in my mind. Because Wanda really doesn't know what that is at this point.
Yeah.
But Doctor Strange can put up the speed and shit and moving forward. You know what I'm saying? But I still don't know how these mutants are going to come. Because they have to come from somewhere. Like I said, some mutants were already on Earth before, but I know she creates mutants too. So how does she do it? That's what I want to see for episode 8.
With Marvel, they have so much room to play because the MCU never goes strictly off of the comics. So that's why you never really know what route they're gonna take because they're never predictable. Like even if they are predictable, it's very rare that you can predict what the MCU is gonna do because they don't just go straight off of the comic books. Like they play with their own type of theories as well on what could happen. But that's a big part though. Wanda and her creating mutants. That was something big. So that's they cut out little small stuff, but they keep the big stuff like that's created to your character. Yeah. So I'm like, she's gonna create mutants at some point. It might not be in WandaVision, but I feel like some point down the line she will be creating mutants though. She will. But what are your predictions for this episode? My predictions for episode 9, like I said, I don't think Agatha Harkness will die. We're gonna get a full view of Monica Rambeau's powers now. We're gonna find out who Agatha is working for, whether it's Mephisto or we're gonna find out Agatha's true purpose, other than just wanting to know if she's the Scarlet Witch. And what else? I'm predicting that Billy and Tommy will die. Yeah.
Billy and Tommy will die. Wanda will get her mind wiped in this. I think she's going to get her mind wiped because if you kill her kids, she going to go crazy, bro. And in the comics, like you said, they don't do everything from the comics, but for her not to go crazy, you will have to wipe her mind so she forgets about that pain so she can just keep moving forward like nothing happened. Because if she killed them kids and she know about it, well, y'all don't want to see Wanda after that. Yeah. Too much is building up at that point.
But I do gonna turn red and it's over.
And she gonna kill everybody in that shit for real. Y'all thought y'all was safe before, but she killing everybody. But I think that will happen. She will get her mind wiped. And there will be a big battle. But I do not think Wanda wins. I agree with you that Agatha and I think White Vision will continue past this season finale. I do. Because it just feels, like I said, it just feels weird to me for him to just pop up in the post-credit scene. Like, I feel like you have to be a bigger character than just you're going to die in episode 9. And that's just how I'm feeling right now. Because how he's getting built up and how people are reacting to him, like saying that he could be the next Ultron and shit. I'm like, bro, y'all got to build on this shit. And that's why I really wish it was 10 seasons or 10 episodes too, because we can play with these niggas and get to see more of them before y'all would kill them off. I gotta see how y'all work it, bro. Gotta see how y'all work it. And how many villains are going to be in the MCU in phase 4?
Bro, I feel like it's gonna be so many different types of villains that we're gonna see. It's not gonna be like phase 1 through 3 where we're just building on Thanos this entire time. I don't think it's gonna be that for phase 4, phase 5, phase 6. Over the next 10 years, like over these next 10, 11, 12 years, we're gonna get. I feel like they're going to really go comic book crazy with the MCU this time. And they're going to give us, we already seen Galactus, I think, in the first Doctor Strange. And we seen him in that Fantastic Four from the early 2000s. So I feel like we're going to get a more updated version on Galactus probably for phase 4, 5, or 6 or whatever. We're going to dive into Mephisto now. What else?
Kang the Conqueror.
Coming back. I feel like we're going to go villain crazy over the next 10 to 12 years.
And there's going to be a lot of anti-heroes too. We still got Doom. You got Doom from Fantastic Four. And I think Doom can play a way bigger character than what we know of Doctor Doom from the early 2000 movies.
Definitely.
Because what I've realized over the past years is that the early 2000s movies didn't do Doctor Doom justice, bro.
At all.
They didn't do this nigga justice at all. Because when I was a kid, I was like, Doctor Doom, what weak ass nigga? Like, this nigga can't, he getting ass beat all the time, getting thrown in the lake and all that shit. But then I learned more about Doctor Doom. I'm like, oh, this nigga be controlling a lot of shit. I'm like, oh, damn. So he wasn't done justice. So he will be a way bigger character in this updated version of a Fantastic Four moving forward. So that's something I do see moving forward.
Oh, I think we're gonna get more in depth with Silver Surfer as well. Yeah.
Yep.
They did Silver Surfer a good amount of justice in that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was good. It was a good arc for him. But Doctor Doom, I just remember this nigga getting thrown in the lake. I really can't remember too much other than him getting thrown in the lake in that one scene. But what are your rankings for these episodes?
I'll say, what was this? 8. I'll say 7, 6, 5, 4, 8, 3, 1, 2.
Yeah, I'm on the same type of wavelength. I got 7, 7, 5, 8, 6, 4, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, that's how I'm rocking with it. And anything else before we get out of here?
Nah, that's it. I just hope episode 9 is at least an hour, please.
It should be. I wouldn't be surprised if they 90 minutes. It's a lot y'all gotta squeeze in. It's a lot y'all gotta squeeze in, Marvel.
They're not gonna make it. They're not gonna give it no movie time.
Get that bitch a movie. Get that bitch a movie, dog. A lot y'all gotta give us right now, bro. It's a lot y'all gotta give us. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. But yeah, I think that's it. You can hit it with the social media.
You can follow us on Twitter at QE Podcast 1. You can follow us on Instagram at QANDE Podcast. You can follow and like our Facebook page. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the notification bell and click all so you can see anytime that we drop new episodes. Our email, QANDE Podcast, for any business inquiries, questions, or concerns.
Yes, and you can subscribe to us on all of the podcast platforms. We're everywhere, but specifically on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Subscribe to us on YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube at Quincy Hicks into the search bar, and you will find my name and definitely subscribe. We appreciate y'all for listening, and we out. Peace.